There exists a strange and contradictory manner in which we cannot truly know who our life partner is unless and until our relationship with them reaches its end. Naturally, we can know numerous things about them, how captivating and appealing they can be, or how intelligent and capable they are of amusement and entertainment, what skills they possess as an accomplished friend or distinguished parent. We observe their kindness to strangers, their dedication to their work, their loyalty to their friends. We see how they light up a room with their presence, how they tell stories that captivate everyone around them, how they navigate difficult social situations with grace and tact. But we are never really shown the complete and comprehensive picture for one essential reason. They still have much to lose. After all, they are our wife or husband. They are our long-term life partner. They are supposed to remain with us until death. And for this reason, they have a reputation they must defend and protect. They rely on the continuation of our goodwill toward them. They depend on our positive regard, our affection, our willingness to overlook their flaws and forgive their mistakes. They have a strong motive to maintain a certain facade before us, to present themselves in the best possible light, to conceal the aspects of themselves they fear might drive us away. This is not necessarily deliberate deception. It is simply human nature to want to be loved and accepted, to avoid conflict and rejection. However, once it becomes clear that things will actually reach their conclusion, that the lawyers will be contacted in the morning, that the moving truck is outside, that the divorce papers are being drawn up and the shared home is being divided, then all bets and calculations fall away. The careful performance that has been maintained, perhaps for years or even decades, no longer serves any purpose. There is no longer a good name or fine reputation to defend. The future has vanished and disappeared, and they will become strangers once more. The person who once promised to love and cherish us forever is now preparing to become someone we pass on the street without acknowledgement. Moreover, there may be tremendous anger, a feeling of betrayal, profound sorrow, pent-up resentment, and terror and fear. All these elements and components help one lose control over one's diplomatic faculties. The restraint that once governed their behavior evaporates. The filters that kept certain thoughts and feelings hidden are removed. The politeness that smoothed over disagreements is abandoned. Now, when it no longer matters anymore, we get the most telling and informative glimpses into the reality of who we have been with all these years. It is as if a mask has been removed, revealing the face that was always there beneath it. Sometimes, indeed often, the news is extremely unsettling and sobering. For a lengthy period, we believed they were touchingly timid and considerably humble. We interpreted their quietness as thoughtfulness, their reserve as depth, their reluctance to assert themselves as a charming modesty. In the final scenes, we discover that what they fundamentally are is appallingly immature when it comes to expressing their needs, and willing to inflict enormous pain upon us in an attempt to evade responsibility. Their silence was not wisdom, but cowardice. Their agreement was not generosity, but an inability to be honest. And now, rather than taking ownership of their part in the relationship's failure, they blame us entirely, rewriting history to cast themselves as the victim and us as the villain. Or, for such a long time, we imagined that beneath a somewhat steely exterior, they surely had profound feelings toward us. We told ourselves that their emotional distance was simply their style, that their lack of affection was cultural or related to their upbringing, that beneath the cool surface there must be warmth. They were well protected and fortified, but they were not without emotion or feeling, or so we believed. Yet, as we discover in the final months, perhaps they truly were without any concern or care. There is not a single tear. There are no protests whatsoever. They pack their belongings with efficiency, divide the assets with cold calculation, and make plans for their new life with apparent enthusiasm. It appears that they are simply and frankly happy to see our backs and our departure. Perhaps we were not hallucinating during the relationship. Perhaps they simply did not care for us very much. To think that all this type of thing was concealed beneath the surface all along and that it required an ending to make it clear. But the news is not always and only bleak and disheartening. In some instances, we can discover enormous decency and morality that inspires great hope. When they have every opportunity to seek revenge, they do not do so. When the legal system would permit them to be vindictive, when mutual friends would understand if they spoke badly of us, when they could make the separation as painful as possible, they choose instead to be fair. When they no longer need to be pleasant, they remain so. They answer our calls with patience, they accommodate our requests when reasonable, they speak of us to others with respect rather than contempt. Even when it will not change anything, when the relationship is definitively over and there is no chance of reconciliation, they work with us to achieve a good and appropriate ending. They collaborate on dividing possessions with consideration for what matters most to each person. They handle the practical matters of separation with maturity and cooperation. They may also assist us with a health matter or provide us with a financial loan, extending kindness even when there is no obligation to do so, no future benefit to themselves, no audience to impress with their generosity. The indicator of a person's true character is how they conduct themselves toward those who are no longer of use or benefit to them. When there is nothing to be gained, when the relationship is over, when they could walk away without a consequence, how do they behave then? This is when we see who they really are, stripped of pretense and performance. And from here comes the wisdom of the saying, we should marry the person we would wish to divorce from. Or rather, we should desire to be with a person who it would be a heartwarming surprise not to be with anymore. We should choose a partner whose character is such that even in the worst circumstances, even when the relationship fails, even when there is hurt and disappointment, they will still treat us with dignity and respect. We can learn much from being with someone, about love, about partnership, about ourselves. We may learn even more when we are no longer with them, when the ending reveals what was always true, but never fully visible.